The UEFA Super League. We've all heard the news a couple of days ago about the UEFA Super League. We've all heard about the news a few days ago about the European Super League taking part of the football world. And is this a good thing? No. I feel like we can all agree that this thing is absolutely corrupt, it's a thing for the rich to get richer, and it's bad. I've been a Bayern Munich fan since I was 4 years old. And in these times, in football times, I couldn't be more proud wearing this right now. And even more shirts both there. And I can't point it. I can't figure out cameras. Wait. There! If you don't know what I'm talking about, I mean, have you been living under a rock or something? It's basically a competition that 12 clubs at the moment, it's Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus, AC Milan, Inter Milan, and the top 6 Premier League clubs are taking part in a competition. Did I say Juve? You get what I mean. Big clubs taking part in a league and competition by their own. And you might be thinking, where's Bayern, where's Dortmund, where's Leipzig, where's PSG, where's Marseille, where's all these clubs? I'll get into that. The whole thing is absolutely screwed, it's pointless, and it's literally a money-grabbing opportunity for the billionaires out there that want to stack more billions onto their already existing billions. I've seen so many footballers out there today that have been talking about this. They've been posting on social media. I saw Mesut Ozil put a tweet out. Ander Herrera put a tweet out. There's so many footballers. You've seen Gary Neville talk about it a lot. He's been very good about this. You've seen Rio Ferdinand talking out. Sir Alex Ferguson in his book. There's so many big footballing legends, big coaches, big everyone that are totally against this. And what do they do about it? They still go through with it. I think no one complained. The way the Champions League, the domestic leagues, the domestic cups, no one complained at it. And now we're here in sad times where April 18th, 2021, football essentially died. I didn't think this day would come until probably I was dead, you know? So essentially, if you didn't know, the clubs taking part in this European Super League is not allowed to compete either for their national teams. No Euros, no World Cup, no nothing. Not in the Champions League, and not in their domestic leagues. They're only participating in this European Super League. You might think to yourself, like, why? Why is that? But, you know, it's protest from both UEFA and FIFA, you know. It's these stupid people, you know, Florentino Perez, is that his name? You get the Real Madrid chairman, anyway. You see Juventus chairman, you see all the English ones. They're all billionaires, most likely, anyway. I don't know how much money they have. But they have so much money, and all they want to do with this competition is essentially to stack more billions to the already existing billions. That's not the football we know. We know football as a sport. I grew up watching football ever since I was about 4 years old. That's when I started supporting Bayern. I've always kicked the ball. I've always loved the sport. I've been paid to play football. I play like a semi-professional. It's not professional, but we're in Division 4 Sweden team anyway. I love this sport so much. I enjoy it. All the emotions, all the happiness, all that. It's part of the sport. And the whole financial thing becomes too much. The sport dies out. Of course, I see the point of it. They want all the best players. They want Mbappe. They want Lewandowski. They want Ronaldo, Messi, Neymar. They want all these players to play in the same league against each other all the time. And it's good as for marketing, you know, over in the US when they don't really have much football, or soccer as they call it. You know, in Asia when they don't have as good football as we do. Of course, they want to put together a competition where everyone can watch the biggest players, biggest and best players in the world play together and against each other every day. In my opinion, that takes away the whole thing. That makes big games completely useless. The exciting thing about football is, of course, big games. That's so exciting all the time. You know, we had Bayern PSG the other week. We had Liverpool Real Madrid. But seeing those games, or those type of games, not those exactly games, but seeing those games every week, week in, week out, gets boring. And then then having a big game ahead of you, a big game to look forward to, poof, it's gone like that. And you might think to yourself, like, you don't really seem upset. Of course, I'm upset. I'm really upset about this. But my club that I support, that I've always supported and always will support, have united together with Borussia Dortmund, PSG, And again, it's essentially all other clubs. So Mönchengladbach put a statement out, Leipzig put a statement out, that they're refusing to participate in this competition. I've been walking around all day today, super nervous about the decision, if we're going to participate or not, because it's been rumored that we were at first, but now the Dortmund's chairman came out and said that Bayern and Dortmund stand against this, we refuse to take part of it. And I'm so happy we did that, because this whole thing is, no. This whole competition is going to ruin football. We all know it. I can't imagine what the players and managers do right now. What are they going through? I can't imagine it. Because really, the biggest part of this competition will be the players and the managers. Imagine being someone, imagine being, let's take an example here. Take Cristiano Ronaldo, for example. He loves his nation. He loves Portugal. He's always standing up for Portugal. You see the Euro 2016 final when he literally coached the team to win. Because he plays for Juventus, he can never, ever represent his nation again. Not even in a friendly, nothing like that. But because he is in the Super League, he can never participate for his nation ever again. That is ridiculous, by the way. That is insane. So really, I've seen a lot of people, a lot of players, speak out about this. But of course, the players that are actually there and participate in this competition, they can't speak out because they're under a contract. Hugely paid people with insane contracts, and I guess they're not allowed to speak on this. Which is really what they should. You have Cristiano Ronaldo, you have Lionel Messi, you have the two best players of all time still playing and participating in this competition. So what do they need to do? Of course, for the beloved and for the sake of football, they, with everyone else, needs to act upon this. Because of course, Messi is still fighting for an international trophy. There's all kinds of memes going around with, Pessinov winning an international trophy. Which is kind of true. Of course, he still wants an international trophy. He wants to, show his nation he's capable of it. Sure, he's getting older, he may not be able to get the World Cup or whatever, but just a Copa America, that would mean the world to Lionel. But just because he's at Barcelona, he's not allowed to. And of course, this all makes sense, and it's, the right thing to do from both FIFA and UEFA to ban players from ever playing in the Champions League again and ever playing for the nations again. Which really makes no sense, really. I mean, of course it does make sense, because, it's kind of a threat to this whole thing. But of course, I can't really imagine what the players are going through right now. They might be absolutely crushed about this. Like, I don't want to do this. I either need to leave, like, right now, which could cause all kinds of problems for the big clubs that participate in that. Say Toni Kroos, for example. He doesn't want to leave Real Madrid, but he still wants to play for Germany. What does he do? There's nothing he can do. He either needs to leave Real Madrid or never play for his nation again. How tough is that decision to make? It's the 19th of April as recording this anyway. So, the whole thing might be completely different in a few days. They might scrap the whole thing. Who knows? But as the looks of things right now, the 12 clubs that are participating in the UEFA... I keep saying UEFA. But as of right now anyway, the 12 clubs that are participating in the Super League are no longer playing Champions League ever again. How that affects this season, I don't know. PSG could well be crowned the trophy, because they're the only club that's not representing the Super League that are still in this competition this year. So they could easily be champions, and of course that makes us runner-ups, doesn't it? Which is weird. But the Champions League's over. Real Madrid can't participate in it anymore. That's kind of confirmed right now. And of course the clubs are going out with statements that they are joining this, and it's not looking bright for anyone to walk out of the competition unless it completely, absolutely goes to the floor. Because I've heard multiple politicians, Boris Johnson, for example, he's getting into the situation, trying to look out and make sure the Super League does not happen. If he's going to make it work, who knows? Good for him if he can. But even then, this whole thing is absolutely screwed. I just don't see... This is not football. This is not football. Like, this is all marketing and all business. Football is a sport we love. It's a sport we play. It's a sport we feel. Football is not an investment for the rich people to get richer. And I hate all this. I truly hate all this. Sure, Champions League will be quote-unquote easier for Bayern and PSG. Sure, the final might be them two literally every year. Because the competition will take away those 12 clubs and of course replace them with current standings, which for the Premier League, for example, would be West Ham, Leicester, I think Leeds and one more club I can't remember, but those three anyway will make the Champions League. Maybe less than West Ham would have made it anyway, but even then you get much weaker competition, which obviously could of course make it more fun. You get to see interesting teams in the Champions League. Of course, you still have the Ligue 1 teams, Paris, Lille, I think Marseille, Lyon, something like that. And of course, yeah, the Bundesliga clubs would be Leipzig, Bayern, Frankfurt, and Wolfsburg at the moment. Of course, that could all change depending on how the rest of the season goes. But this whole thing is absolutely going to ruin football, and it kind of already has. And to go through all this in the middle of a global pandemic, clubs are bankrupt because there's no ticket sales, because people can't go. People are struggling. Clubs are struggling. There's so many clubs that are going bankrupt because of this pandemic. And for these 12 clubs to say, we don't care about you, we're going solo, goodbye, have a good life. That's totally unacceptable. And not only for the clubs, for the fans. They are completely screwing over the fans. I saw a tweet today about Liverpool fans not taking away all the flags at Anfield or whatever it was. They said, like, we won't support a club that takes money ahead of the actual game, which I completely stand by. And this whole thing is complete slap in the face to all fans around the world that support these clubs. So many of my friends are so upset. They're never going to play in the Champions League ever again. I have tons of Real Madrid fans that love the Champions League so much. They were doing so well this year. They have 13 Champions Leagues total. Just because of the Super League, never going to participate again. Never win one again. The whole thing about transfers is really interesting me because, of course, some players are obviously going to want to leave. And looking at the futures of the likes of Erling Haaland, Kylian Mbappe, if they're going to go to the Super League, they of course can't represent the nation again. And they're essentially becoming frauds for joining this competition. And it just does not make sense. And it's horrible for everyone and for everyone. If you think, this competition is a good idea or whatever, go watch another sport, please. This whole thing will absolutely ruin football. I don't even know what to say. It's just so bad. But I'm interested to see the final result, how all this is going to pan out. Of course, at the moment, it's looking, dark for the big clubs. But like the consequence about all this is going to absolutely collapse. Like the big clubs are going to lose all their players because they want to represent the nations. The Bundesliga might become stronger than ever. The Ligue 1 might become stronger. The Premier League will lose all its viewers. Not all its viewers, but a heavy amount of viewers that they will lose. But a lot of viewers for Premier League are watching the top 6 clubs. And the top 6 clubs being gone to the Super League like that, it will lose so many viewers. Because Bundesliga might be stronger than ever. Just because of that. Who knows? And of course there's a restructure of the Champions League going on, which, to be honest, is kind of crap. But I'd rather have a crappy Champions League format than not playing Champions League at all. I personally love the Champions League. There's true emotions, insane games, games that don't happen every time. And the Super League will kind of ruin that feeling for us all. The Super League will have those teams every day, week in, week out. It takes away the suspense. But yeah, that's just my brief thoughts anyway. I'm kind of baffed about this all because, of course, we've been knowing about the Super League, potentially being a thing one day. That one day is here and it's worse than, we all thought. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments or tweet me or whatever. Come join my streams. Links in the description as always. Yeah, and I hope you're enjoying the clips too. They're kind of funny. And thanks for watching. I'll see you later.